Hi there, welcome to FMCG by Alex. I'm Alex, and today I would like to talk to you about numerical and weighted distribution. So let's start with what is numerical distribution? Numerical distribution is basically the number of shops you sell into. So let's say the entire market is 10 shops in one city. You sell into all 10, you have 100% numerical distribution in that city. If you sell only into 5 out of 10, your numerical distribution is basically 50%, meaning 5 out of 10. The number of stores you sell into is important. Key success factor in FMCG is distribution, but not every store, of course, will sell an equal amount of stock. I'll go into that in a moment when we cover weighted distribution. Numerical distribution is very important for another reason. It's about reaching consumers through availability. So imagine you are in a city. Every city has different stores. So not every consumer goes to the same store. So to say, oh, this is the store that sells the most. Therefore, I'm selling only to this store. Yeah, that could be possible, but you will not cover the entire range of consumers, the entire consumer base in that city, so or in the country or wherever scale you're looking at. So it's important to reach all consumers through availability. So availability of 100% for FMCG would be very good, or as close to 100% as you can get. So numerical distribution covered, we go on to weighted distribution. So numerical distribution is purely counting the number of stores you're selling into, meaning 10 stores, it means 100% of your distribution. Now in those 10 stores, maybe the total sales for the entire category in the city will be 1,000 units, meaning there is, let's say, about 100 units per store. That's on average. But not every store will sell an equal amount of units. So maybe there are stores that sell 500, and maybe there are stores that sell only 10. So that is everything in between. So that's the thing that you need to keep in mind when you're counting numerical distribution versus weighted distribution. Weighted distribution means that the total 1,000 units, how much of that are you capturing with your distribution? That is called weighted distribution. If you maybe only sell into one store, but you have all 500 units of that one store, and the other stores sell together 500 units, the other nine, then you have already captured 50% of the entire distribution, the entire volume in the city, entire volume in the market. So that is basically per category, per outlet, you need to look at weighted distribution. So this is also the Pareto principle at work. So normally 20% of the outlets do 80% of the sales. There's always a disparity there. So that is one of the principles of weighted distribution. Weighted distribution is very important to monitor. So there's no right or wrong with regards to, okay, I'm doing both numerical distribution, but I'm also looking at my weighted distribution, meaning am I maximizing the sales in every outlet? So in the sense of weighted distribution is reducing distribution cost and risk, because let's say you have an outlet in that example that I just gave you that sells 500 units, and there is another outlet that sells 10 units. Okay, not selling into that outlet that sells 10 units, that might be not that spectacular. So these 10 units that you are not capturing, maybe the cost of distributing to that outlet is much higher than the benefit of capturing that 10 units. Assuming even that you can get the 10 units from that outlet, like could be also a partial capture that you only sell 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. Now, yeah, like, is it worth covering that outlet? So that is, I think, constantly the question that is asked by distributors, because it's a cost benefit sort of equation. Now, include also the risk of spreading your stock to too many outlets. That would also mean that to keep stock available in every outlet, to keep volume, like it's difficult to predict for 10 outlets, it's more easy to predict for one outlet. So that is also one of the things that weighted distribution actually has as a big advantage if you focus on all your efforts on maximizing weighted distribution. Last but not least, I would like to discuss briefly investing in growth. So there are only two ways actually to increase your sales. One is selling more to existing customers, so selling more to existing outlets in essence, or selling to new customers. So that's why I said like numerical distribution is a very important thing to keep on expanding, but you need to basically maximize what you have. So in essence, the third element is developing new channels. So sometimes you are not covering certain channels, which maybe unlock new potential, new consumers that you haven't covered yet or haven't reached yet with your product. Meaning there might be an on-the-go segment for your product. There might be, for a channel that you completely have overlooked because it might not make sense, logically speaking, because nobody has ever done it. Meaning nobody has ever done it. That could also mean there is a large potential that could be unlocked by developing a new channel. Following everybody else, that is also the thing with regards to weighted distribution and numerical distribution. If you follow everybody else, let's say you go to the specialist store that is selling your products. Let's say you sell coffee and you go to a store that sells all brands of coffee. Of course, people go there for coffee. A lot of coffee is being sold there. So the entire market for coffee is there. But competition is cutthroat. So in the end, that is one of the things that, is you can't avoid that you are competing with everybody else for the same customers. If you are the only brand that sells, for example, in a do-it-yourself store, so let's say I've had some success with that in Indonesia, where we had do-it-yourself stores actually selling vitamin products or beverages. So these channels were actually very good for us because we were the only brand there. So the only brand of that category inside that store. It's not like it's next to the hammers and the nails, but it's actually at the cashier. So checkout counter people were ringing up their purchases and they said, "Hey, I would like to have a bag of these gummy vitamins, UVIT gummy vitamins at that time. We would like to have that. So, okay, let me ring that up as well." So along with my purchase, I have an impulse purchase. So this is the stuff that is an example of developing a new channel, which would not come, straight to mind when you are looking at, okay, where would I buy gummy vitamins? Because gummy vitamins normally were sold in pharmacies or, at the best, maybe supermarkets. Maybe even supermarkets was too crowded. So if you look at pharmacies, yeah, all the vitamin brands were selling into pharmacies. So therefore you are competing with everybody else for the same customer, which makes it more difficult for you to stand out in the crowd, in the competition, also to people who promo their way out of low sales. They actually would increase their sales. There's a lot of investment going on inside those outlets for this growth. So if you look at selling more to existing customers, yeah, of course, it sounds like a no-brainer. Hey, this is the customers I have. I know the potential. I have a relationship. I've already invested. I'm already going there. So yes, you need to constantly keep in mind. But sometimes growth by selling to new customers can be cheaper and maybe more spectacular if you develop new channels. So those are the things that I would like to share with you at this stage with regards to investing in growth. Look not only at what you have, but also at what can be. And, it doesn't hurt to trial once in a while. So trying a new channel, if it works, then it works. If not, then at least you know that it doesn't work. So that is maybe an iterative process you can actually go through with your sales team. As long as you reduce the risk, you don't risk it on everything. So, for example, there are retailers that maybe charge like $100,000 in listing fees. That is a new channel that might be very, very interesting, or raw potential, like because maybe they have a lot of outlets. But if you are not sure that your product will fly there, then that is a very risky bet to make, because $100,000 you can do a lot of other beautiful things with for your brand. So wasting $100,000 on a channel that will not perform for you, that's the danger. That's basically the game on trialing and also sometimes erring, basically. Um, Having said that, there are some low-hanging fruit where you say, like, okay, maybe there's not a listing fee, or there's a low listing fee, or you can trial maybe a limited amount of products, a limited range of your products in the stores. Tailor something more towards that consumer profile that is in the stores. For example, the example I just gave is like the mini markets. If you list something in Indonesia in an Alfamart, yeah, it costs you billion and a half rupiah, which is about $100,000 basically, uh, just to list one SKU in all of the stores. Now, that's something that is not for every brand easy to cough up. Basically, it's a big risk. Maybe that's also a big investment, big dent in the total budget that they have for the year. So that is one of the things that requires a little bit of thought, a little bit of research, basically. So rather than I'll just list it in Alfamart or in Indomaret, that's the other big retail chain that has a similar profile, and they both actually are hugging the 20,000 store total. So 20,000 stores. Okay, overnight I'm in 20,000 stores. It's very, very, very beautiful thought about it, but maybe not all those stores will perform. Not all those stores are actually selling actively your product. So you put it in the stores, maybe only 40% will actually have transactions for your product. Maybe 60% are not performing. Is it a good channel or is it not a good channel? Will you get a lot of returns from the channel or not? So those are all these considerations that are used in yeah, deciding on what is the step, the numerical distribution, meaning the expansion of your distribution, or the weighted distribution, expansion of the stores that you already sell to, meaning, you go in the height, not in the horizontal, but more in the vertical direction, and then the horizontal direction. So these are, some words of wisdom I would like to give you here. I've trialed and errored quite a lot in my time. Also trialed and had a lot of success, obviously. But I mean, if you don't try, you don't know. That's what I'm trying to say here. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And in case you would like to ask me anything about this video or any other topic on FMCG, please feel free to contact me, Alex at devriessalesconsultancy.com. The address is at the top. Alex at, that is basically my email address. Feel free to reach out. Happy to discuss.